Hello and welcome to our first Advent Daily Devotion for 2022 and going into 2023. We are going to be talking about prophets and promises, right, for Advent. This continues our Christian tradition of setting aside time to prepare for the celebration of Jesus' birth and to anticipate his return. I'm just reading the explanation here. Oh, yes. So in ancient times, prophets announced God's promises. We know this through the Old Testament, right? Prophets announced God's promises of a deliverer to the Hebrew people. As you read the devotion, as we hear this devotion together, let us look for these ancient promises. Even in the Gospel of Matthew, we'll find these. We'll also watch for the different ways in which Joseph, the Magi, and King Herod respond to the arrival of Jesus. We've heard that before. We've experienced it. But again, as we've been talking about this idea of experiencing the wait, this Advent, but mixed with the world and what's happening. How does the gospel speak anew to us? And how does our world speak anew to the gospel? Yes? Good. Good. So our first one is, of course, the 27th, first Sunday of Advent. Here's our picture. The kids are playing in the snow. And as you can already see, our reading is from Isaiah 2, 4 through 5. The Lord shall judge between the nations and shall arbitrate for many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. So before we, if you remember, we've done these before, we have our reading and then something to ponder and then a devotional part to make us think a little bit more, and then it dives into, or we conclude with a prayer. So, but isn't it interesting, because we talk in Isaiah here, we hear, where is it? They shall not lift up sword against nation. Only a few weeks ago, what was Jesus saying? We will lift up and there will be wars. Nations will fight nation, great armies. But now we're hearing something different. How fascinating. For us to ponder, like the sun, I'm here to shine. Like the voice, I'm here to sing. Like the bird, I'm here to fly and soar high over everything. This comes from the poem I Am Enough by Grace Byers. What are we here to do? We are here to shine. Exuberance is a marvelous spiritual gift that inspires in us the cheerfulness and excitement we will need during the weeks of Advent. The ancient prophets help us encounter the wonders of the living word, as their energizing messages announce new things that will soon appear. God often surprises us with the words and actions of people who find unexpected ways to draw us out of darkness and despair. Sometimes we simply marvel when our children, our elders, or friends that we haven't seen in years seem to be sent by God to remind us that there is already joy in this world. You know, I just want to pause there, right? Because here we are concluding our Thanksgiving weekend, where it seems, especially this year, there's just been this bombardment of, kind of that beginning of, it's family, but then also it's family, and this is, we're going to fight. And there was even some commercial where it kept flashing odds of how bad the fights were going to get. But we can't forget what was talked about here, right? What was talked about here, that these people we haven't connected with. I mean, here I am, I'm in Michigan at my in-laws' house, and I haven't seen them in 4 years, even beyond the pandemic, right? I haven't been here, we haven't experienced a Thanksgiving like we used to for 4 years. 4 years. And just this visiting, and there's family stuff, but there always is. But then at the same time, there's also just those reminders that they were talking about here too. So God, let me start that over. Sometimes we simply Marvel when our children, our elders, or friends that we haven't seen in years seem to be sent by God to remind us that there is already joy in this world. Faithful ones, let us give thanks for all those living things among us who help refresh our faith in the one who makes all things new. Let us pay attention to the surprising voices around us who speak and live with an exuberance that calls us to believe with all our hearts that we are here to shine. How great, what a great, we hear that in this picture, right? Just this reminder of innocence, this reminder of friendship, this reminder that we're all connected. Good stuff to think about. Where do we shine, right? How do we shine every day? And then, of course, how do we accept being shown upon by our peers, by our friends, by our enemies, by people, right? Are we on the lookout for those that it just seems God has sent our way? Yeah, I don't like this light. It makes me look like I have a bald spot. Anyway, but that's fine. Let's close in prayer. Here I am, Lord. Thank you for all the ways you call me to walk in your light. Things to remember as we begin this Advent season. So then, of course, Monday, tomorrow, we dive into it as we're in that first week of waiting, of preparing, of just thinking about what this season means. So, until then, God bless.